Today's episode is brought to you by Manscaped, and I'm happy that it is because sometimes, Dan, things are a little bit tricky.
Tell me about it, Bran. In all honesty, grooming yourself is really important, and there's a lot of obstacles in the way. Ingrown hairs, nicks, and cuts. Look, we want to look our best. We want to feel our best, and Manscaped is helping us do that, and they're going to give you 20% off and worldwide shipping with Deck the Hallmark as a code.
That's right.
And you're going to get a ton for that offer.
I got to tell you, can I push the Performance Package 4.0 a little bit? Because
Please
you get
do.
a lot going on in here. You get the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. 3.0 just wasn't cut. At 4.0, let me tell you about the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, which I'm especially stoked about. The Crop Preserver ball deodorant, the Crop Reviver toner, which you've just been raving about, Dan. You get some boxer briefs, and to put everything in, you get this awesome travel bag to hold all the goodies. I cannot tell you enough how fun it was to open this box and see all the things that you get in the Performance Box 4.0, the Performance Package. You're not going to regret it.
Bran, it operates wirelessly. I'm getting old. I got nose hairs and ears hairs coming out. It's the best nose hair trimmer, ear hair trimmer I've ever used. And you know what? All of it worked incredibly flawlessly. Manscaped has you covered when you need it and where you need it most.
And we have you covered with 20% off and free shipping with the code DECKTHEHallmark, all one word, at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com by using the promo code DECKTHEHallmark. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Hi, I'm Bran, and I typically love Netflix Christmas movies.
I'm Alonzo, and I like Netflix Christmas movies with very specific caveats in place.
I'm Jax, and I like Netflix Christmas movies, except I think one of these caveats is this film that we're about to discuss.
I'm Dan, and never have I been prouder to despise Netflix Christmas movies, and this is the Deck the Netflix Podcast.
Wow.
Yes. Cinema.
It is now officially July, everybody. So for those of you that are like, you did it too early last week with your Christmas things. Well, now we're still doing it early for Dan, but for everybody else that celebrates Christmas in July, it is July proper, and we're kicking things off right with Deck the Netflix.
Christmas in July deserves this movie. That's what I would say. That's the way I would marry the two things. It just
Reunited,
does.
and it feels so good. Us.
Yes, us.
Yeah, absolutely. We do not need more of what we just watched, but we need more of what's happening here.
This is the dream team, right?
It is the dream team.
dream
It is the dream
team.
team. And now this movie did come out last year, but it came out after we were done recording for the season. It came out like the week before Christmas.
Much to our chagrin.
Yes. So we were like, oh, no, we're not going to get to do it. And then luckily for us,
And
July
weirdly
is
enough,
here.
Alonzo was the one banging the drum of, well, we got to do Christmas, California Christmas 2, even more California or whatever it's
complete
called.
If you're gonna make a sequel to that, let's just say dumpster fire. Like there's a morbid curiosity within me. Like,
That's true.
Are
Yeah.
you? What next?
Oh, listen, if they announced a sequel to Christmas in Carolina, we would do we'd do a screening here. Like we do a legitimate screening.
Sell popcorn.
You
Oh my
guys would
gosh.
try to be extras again.
Oh yeah. We try to be
Jax.
extras at a ribbon cutting for a chicken finger restaurant.
That's so true. So last week there was a chicken place here called Huey Magoo's. That's the name. It's a chicken place out of Florida. So what more do you need?
Yeah.
So they opened a spot here in Greenville, and we have heard
The CEO of the company from New York. There's like 35 locations. He worked for like Wingstop and Papa John's, blah, blah, blah.
but they were supposed to have already been open.
They were supposed to be open for 5 days. We didn't know this. We showed up, and it was a ribbon cutting ceremony. And
We showed up right when the doors opened because that's what we do.
And he was like, you guys can eat anyway. And so we stuck outside, and we asked Panda to go over and try to get in the ribbon cutting picture. So that was fun.
And then we walked around, we got back inside, and they're getting ready to cut the ribbon. And I still need to see if I made the news or not. But they're doing it right in front of the front door. And so I'm in the behind
Window,
the
yeah.
glass, obviously. But I'm just like, hey, as they're cutting the ribbon. So hopefully I ruined that experience
We
for
did it.
them
I feel
while
like
they're
you only
watching.
enhanced it, Brand.
Thank
That's
you,
right,
Jax.
Bran.
But Huey Magoo's was very good.
was good
I will
food.
say, very
Promo
good.
Like
code-
Huey Magoo's.
Yeah, promo code deck at checkout, I believe.
What is it? Sweet Heats?
Sweet Heat.
Sweet Heat is where it's at.
Good, yeah.
Guys, we'll all go to Huey
It's on the
Magoo's at
company. We're big
Bramblefest.
spenders
At
around
Bramblefest. Jax, how excited are you, one, to come to Bramblefest in Greenville, South Carolina, August 19th and 20th, but also knowing that you will get, we've talked about Christmas in Carolina at least a dozen times with you present, and you have not seen it, and we're going to watch it at Bramblefest. How excited are you?
Oh, I am pumped. First of all, I can't wait to hang with you guys. It's going to be so much fun. But yeah, I'm ready to have that experience live and in person. I'm saving it until then.
Yeah, as you should.
All the quality of this movie and roughly half the length.
And budget.
And budget.
Yeah, probably a third
And
of the
sound.
budget. And sound, yes.
I can't wait. Bramblefest, the tickets are still on sale. deckthehomework.com/fest if you want to get on that action. Do you guys want to talk about Christmas in Carolina, the Deuce, City Lights?
Not Christmas in Carolina, too.
I'm sorry, California.
Stop manifesting. You've been listening to too much Colin Eggersfield.
Sorry.
Inspire everybody.
Inspire. I mean, I'm so freaking inspired right now.
So inspired.
Man.
You guys heard of this book called The Secret? Anybody?
Man. We'll leave it. I mean, I'm sure Colin's a great guy.
He seems like a great guy.
California Christmas 2, City Lights.
City Lights.
Originally aired on the Netflix December 16th, 2021, and it went a little something like this. The movie kicks off with the whole family kicking off their shoes and stomping grapes. You see what I did?
That's nice.
It's been 1 year. And Joseph decides now is the time to propose to Callie in front of a bunch of randos that are there for a tour, which she accepts that proposal. That evening, everybody celebrates the engagement, and his driver slash manager slash chauffeur, I don't know, tries to convince Joseph to come back to the city because, quote unquote, the city misses you, man. But he's like, yeah, hard pass. We then get a solid commercial for the Oculus VR. Oculus VR, where you can have fun shooting things and swimming with sharks. Oculus VR.
And it'll leave a ring on your face the next
That's
day.
right. That's exactly right. Joseph and Callie, how should I say, celebrate their engagements. And they're good on them. The following morning, they're drinking out of Christmas coffee mugs. So clearly, it's the holiday season. You can tell by mugs. Joseph finds out that his mother ran off with a yoga instructor. She's just not there anymore. So the company has now been left to him, and he is like, "What? I can't believe that this is happening." Now, temporarily, the company is left to some girl named Victoria, who at this current moment, I'm not sure if she's his sister or ex-lover. More on that soon. So he decides, you know what, I got to go back to the city. I'll steer this ship, get back, we'll get married, whammo, whammo, bammo. So he tells Callie about this. Her name is Callie, and it's in California. How about that? Joseph, he says, hey, do you want to come to the big city with me while I, fix the company, and you can come and see the city, not be by horses?
The city lights, if you will.
The city lights.
Yeah.
And she agrees to go, and they show up to a hotel full of women who seem to also have celebrated with Mr. Joseph once or twice. Callie is introduced to Victoria, who's still at this moment. I'm leaning towards sister. But I don't know.
It's starting to sway a little bit.
A little bit. So Callie learns that Joseph's mother booked basically the wedding venue for them.
And the date of Christmas Eve.
On the date of Christmas Eve. And so what do you do with that? You got to say it. She's hesitant at first, Callie is, but then she finally says, you know what, okay, why not? So they go to a party full of, once again, women who have celebrated with him, and it gets a little bit awkward. He's kind of fallen back into his old lifestyle. She's not having it. Big city boy, not for Callie. But he's like, listen, that was my back then. You're my forever. And then they slow dance, so all is well. Back on the farm, you guys remember Manny?
Boy, do I.
Ranch hands.
Sommelier.
That's exactly right. Right before they left for the city, Callie's best friend Brandy came into town, who she promptly just left and said good luck on the ranch. But Manny now has a crush on Brandy. They bond over video games. They almost kiss. The next morning she's like, I just can't handle it anymore, and they kiss, and yay for them. Joseph is back in the CEO chair, and he's having a tough time because business is hard. And Callie's like, you got to remember, people matter. She steps in and she starts crushing it. She's calling people and being like, yeah, but you have a child? I know their name. Stuff like that. People love that stuff. And she's also kind of starting to enjoy the city at the same time. She didn't think she would ever like the city, but wow.
Man, these city lights.
So Callie confronts Joseph after she feels like he's getting a little too comfortable in his as the CEO of the company. And there's also, you guys remember Victoria? You remember her? Ex-lover is what we're going to actually go with. So she's like kind of always around and is like just glaring at her through windows and stuff. And she's now like going to commit her entire life to not saving the business, but to breaking up Callie and Joseph. And so Callie, who's spending a lot of time with her dead fiance's brother, they're like doing acting at a soup kitchen. Yes. All real words and all things that happen here. So she's acting opposite. She's Mary. Her dead fiance's brother is Joseph, and they get really close. You know how Mary and Joseph almost kiss all the time in the Bible. And it's the hot nativity indeed. Victoria's there in the back, takes a picture, goes up, shows Joseph the picture that they're clearly about to kiss. And so what are you going to do about that? And so then after that, she gets into Victoria's car. Victoria tells Callie that she has fat hands and also that she was Joseph's fiance, and she had the same ring and her hands look better with it. So, what can you do? So now she confronts Joseph about everything that she just found out and is like, you know what? I'm out of here. We're not engaged anymore. So she goes back to the ranch. She, makes up with her sister who she's been ignoring. The big city, you can't stay in touch with people like you can on the farm. And Joseph realizes everything that's happened, what Victoria did, and realizes what he's kind of becoming. He doesn't want to become like his father was. He wants to be, who he is now with Callie. And so the whole gala that they've been planning, he cancels that sucker. And he's like, you know what? We don't need it. We don't need to spend this money. There's people in need that need this money. So go over to the soup kitchen and eat all their soup. And so then Callie is talking to Brandy, and Brandy's like, you guys are great together, blah, blah, blah. Just go and see if you can turn things around, basically. And so she does. She sees this speech that he gives about the gala and being a waste of money. And she's like, that's my guy. And they agree to get married once again. They go back to the farm to get married, not in that rich, snooty snoot place. We get a nice flashback for minutes on end of their love. And they kiss and they get married. And that, my friends, was California Christmas City Lights.
We did it.
We did do it. Let's take a quick break. We'll come right back and break this movie down in the way that only we can. Here on Deck the Netflix.
What a break.
Wow.
What a break.
Much needed.
I feel refreshed.
Much needed indeed. Let's break this movie down. California Christmas, The Deuce. Now, Jax, I do want to start with you. You watched this week also for the first time California Christmas 1.
You asked the three of us in the group chat, should I watch this? And we all said a resounding yes.
So I want to start with you. I want to hear.
We're in a fight.
Yeah, I want to hear your experience watching 1, but then also for you to give the hot take on 2 and just the whole series as a whole, if you don't mind.
In a word, horrifying. Like, I can't. I did watch 2 first because I wasn't positive I would actually have time to watch 1, but then after what I experienced, I was like, I need to know the origin story. Maybe the reason that I'm not clear if that's his sister or his ex or his sister that he's celebrated with and that's just okay in this movie is because I missed something in the first movie. No, that wasn't the case.
No.
I mean, just so many from him pulling the calf out, like in the.
I forgot
just
about
so
that.
many like horrifying images. My hot take on California Christmas city lights, it reminded me of old Hallmark in the sense of before any of us were covering it, when the writing was bad, the acting was bad, everything about it was just bad. I had quite a few laughs, though, I will say, because as Dan said to me in our group chat, how did you put it? You were like, it's entertaining.
It's
bad.
fun,
It's not
fun
boring.
bad. It's not boring bad. Yeah.
And I will say that I'm glad I went through this with you guys, and it definitely is fun bad, and I would highly recommend it. If you have people to commiserate with it after, because it's much needed for me. I feel like this can be a therapy session.
Yeah.
That's my hot take.
Well, this movie is long. It's an hour 45 runtime, I think, with credits about an hour 40. And
every second of that, too.
Yeah, I felt like we paused it at one point at an hour.
I said, I can't believe there's 25 minutes left in this movie. And you said there's no way there's 25 minutes left. And there were 24 minutes and 52 seconds left.
That's right.
So,
yeah. And I was shocked and horrified. There's like a lot in this movie that isn't like anything. So like there are a few like excessively long and like high drone shots that just go on for a long time to show you city lights. They they go on for a very long, like a weird amount of time. There's these drone shots. I really kind of wish that this movie was about Brandy and Manny. Liked them, had a good time with it. Like, I appreciate that they said to Manny in this one, you know, in one, like, do one, but like
over the top.
More.
Just go to 11 with it.
Like more than one. So those two, I had a good time with them, I guess. But overall, this movie's unfortunate. Not nearly enough Christmas for me. Absolutely appalling Netflix.
But that fake snow at the end of the wedding.
Offensive that you would even attach the name of Christmas to this movie. Just that's the only thing that would have kept me coming back for more, and it's squandered, and I'm offended on Christmas's behalf.
Can I
Alonzo,
just a quick follow-up, Brand?
Go ahead. Yeah.
When you said you had a good time with Brandy and Manny, do you mean like in the context of this movie, or like that would have been enjoyable for you in another real movie?
I wish they were their own movie.
Okay.
So he enjoyed their plot line.
You actually enjoyed it, though, not just comparatively. Like, you actually enjoyed it.
Well, it's hard to say. Yeah. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. There's only one way to find out. California Christmas 3. Brandy and Manny go to the North Pole.
Go to the North Pole. I like it.
Alonzo, what did you think, buddy?
Oh boy. There is already a movie called City Lights. It is generally considered to be one of the greatest films ever made, and so the Charlie Chaplin estate should be suing that they are besmirching the title City Lights by attaching it to this garbage movie. Yeah, both the California Christmas movies are the gifts that keep on giving, but what they are giving you is turds. But this can be entertaining with the right people, and it is a reminder, like when you get into like the real depths of Hallmark and Lifetime, you can think, well, at least they're not this. Yeah, I will say, yeah, the Brandy and Manny scenes, you do sort of breathe a little easier for a moment, because at least you're being spared Callie and Joseph for a while. But yeah, I do not like.
I do appreciate, though, that anytime this movie didn't know how to end a scene, they were like, they could have sex. Like that could be the.
And is the sex as good between them now that she actually knows who he is and he isn't pretending to be somebody else? Because that didn't stop them the first time.
Didn't stop them the first time under false pretenses. That's right.
That's exactly
Clearly
right.
a bedrock of a solid relationship moving forward. We save the wait what's for the wait what section. This film being a wait what in and of itself, I'm going to go ahead and this couple in a year has never been to a city together. It was hard for me to finish the last 100 minutes of this movie because the setup is they've known each other for a year and are engaged and have never been to the city, just haven't done it, haven't gotten around to it.
Dan, they had 1 year to convert a tiny vineyard that made enough wine to give us Christmas presents into a booming commercial venture.
All hands on deck, everybody.
And
doing
only
the
4
farm.
people on staff, so, and one of them is a 12-year-old.
It's fair. Who probably outworks all of them.
She certainly outacted all of them. I'll say that.
Yeah, and I think that goes without saying. I will say there is some weird sadistic quality to this movie that makes it, Nantucket Noel. That's a movie from Hallmark that is just the sound of a flatline machine. It's all it is. This plumbs the depths of the Slough of Despond in a way that makes you morbidly curious as to how much worse it can get. Look, there must have been a contract somewhere that said they had to land this plane in over 100 minutes because can I interest you in a montage? There are 7 of them in this movie. Without the montages, it's basically like Zack Snyder in slow-mo. If you just take out the montages, you have a regular normal length movie that is probably a lot easier to sit through. Cringe, cringe, cringe. There's so much to talk about in the next segment. From is it a lover or a sister? Is that sexy Mary and Joseph? To what else? I mean, it's the gift that keeps on giving. This is really, really bad in July and December, anytime in between. Just terrible movie. Real bad.
You said there's so much to talk about in the next segment, which is all the feels, and I'm going to hold you to that. It's time for all the feels.
I'm out of practice, guys.
Jax, was there anything in this movie that gave you feels?
Yes.
Okay.
There sure was. The first sexy scene, I felt nauseous and uncomfortable.
Sure.
He took off his shirt and then he was backing her onto the bed. And look, I'm not prudish. I watch all kinds of things, but when I'm having
all right, Jax, whatever. Let's weird.
Calm down.
Listen, this is Christmas in July. Just chill.
I'm out of control. I got to be reined in. But not in a sexy way. Okay, I'll stop now.
Wow.
But
We're TV PG. We're TV PG. PG.
Well, I think, and Dan, that's my point. In the sense that, when I watch these movies, I want romance, and I didn't get any romance, but I got what was trying to be sexy, but was not sexy. So when he took off his shirt and then threw her on the bed, I was I'm not feeling anything good about this. It's uncomfortable.
He has more chemistry with the bale of hay that he throws onto a truck while shoveling. Posing for a Harlequin romance cover.
That's right.
Well, and speaking of people that have more chemistry, this is going to be an unpopular thing because obviously they can't work out because, dead brother and, his biggest donor is her fiance. But guys, I was into Owen. I actually thought he was a really good actor, very charismatic. I don't think Callie particularly has good chemistry with anyone, frankly, but I think she had better chemistry with Owen than with anyone else.
I think it's just the Mary get-up. I think Owen can have good chemistry with anyone in the Mary get-up. That's his deal.
Yeah.
Did you know, by the way, Jax, that the actors playing Callie and Joseph are married in real life?
Wait, I'm sorry. The actors playing, are you serious?
How's that grab you from a standpoint of, not being prudish and whatnot?
Oh, Alonzo, you've just given me the gift of doing a deep dive after this podcast because I have so many questions. When they were dancing, another feel that was more just utter sheer embarrassment for them. When they were dancing, everything so those were my feels. Yeah. I did think it was cute when Brandy and Manny kissed and when they were playing the Oculus together. That was about the closest I got to delight, I guess.
Yeah. No real good feels for me, which I hate. I usually try to find something somewhere. I do want to try, it's 2022. I still have not played virtual reality video games, and so I'm down to try it. I think it could be a good time. And maybe we'll do a Deck the Hallmark hangout in the metaverse.
I love it. Very
something
good.
like that. I don't know. But aside from that, no real feels for me, and that hurts my soul to the very core. Alonzo?
My one feel was there are some really iffy wardrobe choices in this movie.
What?
Like,
No.
The second Joseph goes back to the city, it's like, oh, time to put on my douche bro uniform of a hoodie under a suit.
Yeah, what was that?
I even said, Alonzo, I said, I don't really care what century it is. No one should ever do sport coat with hoodie underneath.
Yeah,
like you
no.
can't, right?
Absolutely not. And there's also later we get the flashback with the mom's wedding dress, which Dave goes, "Where'd she get that? Fredericks of Hollywood." But I will say, I had a feeling of relief when they get to the city and Victoria has picked out a dress for her. And it's hideous, and I thought, oh no. And then I realized, oh no, the movie knows it's hideous, and she's going to yank off all the big flower parts and turn it into like a black, over the shoulder, slinky evening. I was like, okay, whew. No, this is the one outfit that's awful that the movie understands is awful.
That's right.
and is reacting accordingly. So
There's
that
a
was
real
my
speck
one
and plank
feel.
situation. Yeah.
I don't know much about dresses, but it has to be harder than that, right? To just yank off sleeves and just go out and on a date?
That's a movie trope, which I'll allow it in this case because I've seen it in much better movies. But yeah, obviously you can't just yank off a sleeve and suddenly.
Jax, have you ever given it a shot? Have you ever just ripped off sleeves and said, let's see what I can do with this?
Perfectly symmetrically, by the way.
Perfect.
no
And, I mean,
threads
I
hanging
think
out.
she had 32 minutes to do it and nail clippers. Like there was no way that she was going to be able to do that with the materials and time.
She's
that
the
she had.
MacGyver of dress alterations.
Yeah.
Is what we're
She
saying.
never leaves the farm without her Singer sewing machine.
That's right. Yeah.
Dan?
I did have feels. I was really torn because I do think the Oculus VR is the equipment for me, but the price point is too high.
It's too
And So
high.
I don't really know where I land there. And so I'm still torn there.
Okay,
Get
great.
back to me later.
Okay, very good. Let's take a quick break and we'll be right back with the Wait What's, which I think was the segment that you
No,
were
I'm in
excited-
all the feels.
Okay.
You hear that awesome Oculus VR bit?
Here, I'll take that one. We're back and we're
Hey.
talking California Christmas city lights. And it's time for the Wait What, where we talk about one of this movie minutes. Go Wait What. Jax, I'll let you kick us off. What were you seeing that made you go Wait What?
So we have the obvious one about the sister lover that I think I'll leave to you guys because, we have much to discuss. I guess my biggest one that I genuinely want help on this to make sure I didn't misunderstand. They're having a baby at the end?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know. And then it was also like, it was 9 months later. They seemed in a rush to get married. Look, no shame. You can have a baby whenever you want, whether you're
right.
married or not. But it didn't. I was kind of like, why did they put that in? Because we didn't even get to see a cute little baby.
California
It was just like,
Christmas.
I'm gonna be a dad.
California Christmas 3, Jax.
The royal baby.
It has to end in a way that sets you up for the third. If this is not a trilogy, I don't know what is.
Give the people what they want.
That's
and
right.
We want more of whatever this is. So that was my biggest wait what, and I'm so excited to unpack with you guys the relationship that was happening with Victoria. My mind is boggled.
Yeah, well, I'll start with Victoria then. If you're gonna hand it on over, there are things that are said that make you believe that Victoria
That's right.
is his sister, such as this being a family business that is being handed over to the kids, to her saying when the paparazzi shows up, it comes with the last name.
She says that out loud.
to just like there being this weird like thing. I don't know. When I found out that they were engaged, there was nothing that was said that would make us think that leading up to it. I mean, there was definitely some tension there, but there were things said that would make you believe that she's the sister.
Yeah, they didn't do a good enough job of putting her in either camp.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
She is a soul-sucking monster, though.
Oh,
like
my
they did. I mean,
gosh.
like I can't imagine a world where someone really says the cut of that wedding ring accentuates your fat fingers.
Yeah.
Like that is. I don't even think on the Real Housewives they're going that low. Like that is not a real person. Like that's a Marvel villain right
Yeah.
there.
Well, you know what, and I will say this: like the other shocker that you may well know is that the actress who plays Callie is also the screenwriter, and so she wrote the fat line.
The look on Jax's face when she realized in making fun of the movie, she's just just crushing one person. Well, it's poorly written. There's no lead
today.
The fat finger line though is kind of a balance because and look, she is a very attractive woman. She is absolutely like a beautiful actress. But I think it's a little untoward to write like 4 or 5 different lines scattered throughout the film where other people tell her how beautiful she is. If you're the screenwriter, maybe pull the brakes on that one a little. It comes off as
just
untoward.
sitting there with a glass of wine and quill
You
pen,
gotta-
like
you gotta
you
balance
look
it out."
fantastic in this dress.
Yeah. I would propose.
Yes, I do.
I would propose that if your company's struggling, maybe pump the brakes on the helicopter that picks you up from a farm and brings you to one heck of a vehicle. That's just me, though. I'm not rich. Maybe I wouldn't pump the brakes on the helicopter. There's only so much that I know how to do. So there's a scene where Manny's always just doing things, just going above and beyond.
Yep.
And he does this thing where he does like the sexy car wash as Brandy is walking by. The only problem that I have with this is he was doing sexy car wash before she's even walking up.
That's right.
He's just like, you know what? I wonder what it would be like.
I'm going to start on this.
Yeah, and then he
we'll see
sees her
what
and he's
The
like,
only way he
okay.
knows how.
It's the only way. That's exactly right.
But
Speaking,
Bran, why do you have a problem with that? Like,
I
this
don't-
is all sexy car wash all the time.
100%,
Even if no one's
you know
watching,
what?
Dance like no one's watching sexy car wash. Like no one's
Even
watching.
if you don't have a lot of time and you're just trying to quickly wash your car, you should always
if you're not sexy car washing, I don't know what you're doing.
That's right.
I'm not one. Yeah, whatever. There's Manny is.
Got it.
There's Manny and Brandy, and it throws me off every
Yeah.
time. So Manny's playing his video game. And he's talking to his buddy on the headset, and he says this line: "If your gamer tag is Booby Boy 97, then you're gonna play like a booby boy." And I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means to play like a booby boy. I don't know. It's a weird thing
You
to
just
say.
cut that clip straight for the best of right there.
Booby boy.
I don't know what it means to play like a booby.
That's
boy.
exactly right. I
You
want
know
to.
you know, and I do not.
I want to put it on the record. I don't know what that means. Booby boy. And last but not least, I cannot believe that Victoria was at this wedding.
Yeah.
Over my dead body, Victoria.
Fat finger Victoria.
She is a complete monster. I don't care if she says, you know what, I was in the wrong. She does not get a wedding invitation to my wedding.
But she's, to be fair, she's definitely celebrating with Owen now.
That's true.
That's
She is
right.
celebrating. She is celebrating. And after all, she is family. So what are you going to do?
Also, the other reason she has to be there is she's everywhere.
Yeah, she's everywhere.
She's never not there. In the middle of the night in her car, she's there.
She's always looking through a window
She's
somewhere.
there. She never sleeps.
She's
all
the
time.
Batman of California Christmas. Alonzo?
Well, one of my wait what's is actually at the very end where they try and pair up Owen and Victoria, and he's like, "You've never introduced me to her before." When we meet Owen at the beginning of the movie, it is said that he organizes all of the events for this company. How could he have never met the acting CEO? I call it shenanigans.
It's
He
almost
knows
like they didn't
exactly
think
who
it
she
through.
One would think, but that certainly couldn't be it. Early on, Manny talks about paying homage, which is a thing that drives me crazy. You can either have an homage to something or
pay
you
homage.
pay homage to it.
That's right.
So that's a bad combo. As Bran pointed out in the thing,
Bran had no idea.
Get
Bran
out
had
of here,
no idea.
Alonzo. Get out of here.
No.
Look, I made him watch one French movie. We're getting there.
That's right.
As Bran pointed out in the synopsis, why does Joseph propose to her in front of a group of random potential
Yeah.
investors?
It's a
Like,
big
does he
one of
wait
mine.
for friends or family? No, like, here's some people on a bus tour. Let's just do it now. Why not? When Manny is leering at Brandy being all like wet or imagining her being wet or sexy or whatever, I watched.
We
this
just don't
movie
have a
with
prayer. We don't have a prayer for TVPG.
I'm just describing, all right?
Not with this movie.
Rain and rains and everything. Like it's just a mess out here.
It's good to be on the That Sounds Fun network,
it
everybody.
just
It's
is a
good.
mess.
Yeah, hashtag not my hallmark. So I watch these movies with the subtitles on because I'm old and people mumble, and so I need to see what's going on. Well, the subtitles for this one tell you like who is responsible for all the terrible songs that you're hearing, and this terrible song happens to be written by the director of the film, and it is
Who's also the writer and the lead, Callie? No,
no, different
Okay.
guy. But there's plenty of blame to spread here. The director has written a song for this scene that is essentially the how can I legally rip off the Cars moving in stereo that was used for a similar scene involving Phoebe Cates and Fast Times at Ridgemont High without getting sued. I'll just change a few notes, but it's basically the same song. That's what's happening here. So I was like, ugh, shame on you. The whole central conflict here is like, can they have their city life and their farm? Answer, yes.
Yes.
Rich people get to do everything because they have helicopters. So like you can be attentive to the dairy farm and also do your San Francisco stuff, and y'all will work it out. You're rich. Shut up.
But did you see how often they were trying to write it like they weren't oh man, for the money in your car, you could have, given so many kids meals.
Right,
you know what I mean?
I got to cut corners and cut off the soup kitchen. Yeah. No,
That's right.
All ridiculous. So his big move at the end is he's going to cancel the gala. I'm like, okay, you paid a hefty deposit to that hotel. So even if you pull the plug on this thing at the last minute, that is money gone. Also, if all the food has gone next door to the soup kitchen, does that mean that like the unhoused are eating like canapes and little like, rich people rubber chicken dinner food? Like, great. Okay, fine. But then when we get there, because this was clearly shot during the COVID pandemic, there's no one there.
No.
There's like 4 unhoused people, including the kid with the shoes, because we have to close that loop. But like, where are all the people who are eating all the finger food that they brought over from the hotel? Like, they can't even bother to
That
deal
soup
with
kitchen
that
helps dozens of people a year. Dozens.
Clearly, yes, and with thank goodness for hot nativity, and that's what keeps the doors open. And then just finally at the very end, where like they're all freaking out because she's going into labor, and the little girl tells Joseph it's time, and he says, "For what?"
Yeah. Yeah, that is the equivalent of the IQ of this film, right? Is what that is, for sure.
Dano?
Speaking of hot nativity, I guess we need to start there. Look, everyone, house or unhoused, loves a good show, but I can't imagine a world where I'm eating a meal and I want to see the one scene I want to see is Joseph and Mary talking about the birth of Christ in a very sensual manner, like they cannot keep their hands off each other. And I don't know what the takeaway is. I know why they have to do it early in the movie, because later they're going to switch and put Callie in and they have to get the picture. But whose idea was like, what if they do it sensual before? Can you imagine they're storyboarding the movie and they're like, how do we get Callie to look like she's having an affair? Well, she could be Mary and he could be Joseph. Yeah, but they just had you just had Jesus, and there's in a barn and there's a real donkey there. But what
that
if we
couple
made
legendarily had sparks,
Yeah, what if, yeah, that's right. The Immaculate Conception, but their chemistry was off the freaking charts. The sparks.
Daniel, you know the Bible better than I do. Which of the 4 Gospels has the references to red carpets and paparazzi?
Yeah, it's first live donkey is what that is.
The three wise men show up and they're like, she's a virgin?
Yeah, okay. Dang,
so.
son. What about that? And they had to film it multiple times. And every time, I can't even imagine the director in this film going, "No, make it sexier." It was so off-putting to me that this is what was, a couple that has notoriously not had sex. That is just...
That's their one bit.
You can't, the one thing
for it.
you can safely say about Joseph and Mary is, no, absolutely not.
I mean, I would argue that sometimes when you're, withholding like that, sometimes there's a lot of sexual
That's where the
tension.
heat comes from. Yeah.
That's where all the heat comes
That's
from.
right. Clearly, whoever wrote that grew up in the youth group in church. I'm telling you that
That's
much.
right. Finally, I get to this is revisionist history at its finest.
How close can Mary and Joseph get to the line without ruining the prophecy?
Dear Lord. Speaking of helicopters, at least the helicopter that this family has is completely fake, because as they're standing underneath it, there is no wind blowing on them at all. None. And I don't know if you know this. I've never ridden a helicopter, but if you see a helicopter and people getting off it, the wind it's pronounced. It's a lot of wind. Not here.
Yeah.
Not a shred
Well,
of
there
wind.
wouldn't be.
They may as well be on a sound stage, believe it or not. Mandy shows up. No. Brandy shows up to Manny's trailer and is like, hey, this game has been on back order for 9 months. And then they show another shot of the game, and I'm pretty sure it's just Street Fighter 2. I am not like the first one's like a first-person shooter. When they go back, I'm pretty sure it's like Ryu and Ken and like Sonic Boom and stuff. Like I don't think anyone has created a new game. I think they fooled them is what I think happened. I could be wrong there. Look, there are a lot of reasons they make up in these movies for the mom not to be at the wedding. And this mom who ran this company isn't at what I believe her only son's wedding. Whatever. But it's because she ran off with the yoga guy?
Yeah.
Like, she can't come back for her son's. Look, you can still be with the yoga guy. You can't come back for your son's wedding?
The
They're
wedding,
really
the
cutting
love,
corners, Dan.
the love that she says changed her life, and is the reason why she ran away with the yoga instructor in the first place.
But that love is clearly only intact when they're on a beach somewhere, not at her only son's wedding.
I'm really praying that was a COVID situation, because other than that, I mean, it had to be, right?
So please, I mean,
Well, if
son,
it were
I'd
her
love to
daughter
make it.
Victoria, she'd be there.
That's exactly right. Yeah, that's
I'd
exactly
love
right.
to make it, son, but listen, Shuffleboard is on Saturday here, and
We're undefeated.
The guy that makes the good Miami Vices only works weekends, and there's no way I can skip. The other one I had was, dude, Cal, what's the dude's name in the movie?
Joseph?
Joseph gives a big, like, hurrah, we don't care about money anymore speech. People are people. Money isn't important, and blah, blah, blah. And this guy who's the COO, he goes, and I laughed hard, even though people are more important than money. And I want to be very clear about that. The guy immediately goes, Joseph says, we're going to give away 10% off the top of all of our profits, which is a weird wink at a tithe. But he goes, we're going to give 10% of all our profits to charity. And this guy goes, what profits? And then Joseph goes, nothing. He doesn't answer it. He doesn't answer the question. He doesn't answer. He doesn't go, no, we're going to have profits, or we actually do have profits. He just skates over it like that's not important. And I love that scene, because I think that's how a lot of people that run companies work. Yeah. And I think that that's really, really funny. They're like, yeah, we'll give 10% of profits. Hey, make sure there are no profits. Like that was perfect. It was like, you don't worry about the profits. Yeah. You don't worry about the profits, but 10%, they're going. Right. And it's like $9 a month of profit.
Funny that you mentioned tithing, because there is also the reference to 70 times 7 in this.
Yeah.
Yes. No. There's a lot of biblical, like the nativity scene, while being very steamy. The nativity scene, while
From
being
the
very
book
steamy,
of Harold Robbins.
Also does like paint a fairly biblical picture. And then they do the 70 times 7, and then you got the tithe reference. A weird movie to have the scriptural references just littered about.
Yeah.
Weird.
In between scenes of boning.
That's right.
That's
And
right.
Hot Mary and Joseph. That's right.
It's time for What the Flicks. It's the part of the show where we wonder what could have been, maybe having the current questions we still have.
You got
Jax, what are you still wondering about that you would love some resolutions loaded for?
Nailed it.
Thank you.
I would love some resolution as to why the woman who was originally cast in the role of Mary is so angry. Like, as an actress myself, I'm very excited when I get any sort of job, and she just seems so angry to be portraying the mother of Jesus. And I want to know what her journey's been, and maybe should she leave the business and get into something that's a little bit more emotionally healthy for her. So I want to know her journey.
I love it.
So Brandy asks Manny what he wants to
Brandon
do.
told Manny.
What he wants to do in 5 years. And they actually end up writing a business plan for this. And the business plan is, I'm going to buy, what is it, like 12 acres of your 200 acres, 200 acres. 500 acres? Whatever. There's a little bit of this property. My question is like, what is he planning on doing with that? What does that mean for his responsibilities at her, the rest of the 400 and 88 acres. Like, is he saying I'm leaving and I'm only going to focus on mine? Is he saying whatever I make on mine, I will get the profits for? It does feel like there's still a lot to be worked out in this relationship where he's buying part of his current boss's acreage. And I know we have 5 years to figure that out, but I would have liked that to be included in the business plan personally. Alonzo?
So 2 movies in, I still don't know what Van Alsten Enterprises does. Like, they have suppliers. They talk about suppliers all the time.
That's right.
I thought they were real estate developers because the whole first movie is about taking the farm away and turning it into, like, condos in Petaluma, because that's what everybody wants. But I genuinely don't. This is the kind of movie that our friend Bibbs will talk about, the business of business.
That's right.
Because I don't know what this company does. Do they make something? Do they sell something? Do they produce anything? I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's a great question.
At one point, Callie's on the phone with someone. And she's like, "Your family's gonna love it," and they're like, "Okay, we're on board." I don't know what that means, but it all comes down to family and whether or not they're gonna love it.
Family.
Ask Victoria.
Yeah.
Dan?
Mine is also about the woman playing Mary in this movie. When she quits, and she quits because Victoria has paid her more than she'll make in a month, whatever that means. She quits, but she's only quitting for one night.
That one show.
Yeah, she's only quitting for the one show. Why did she dress up like Santa's helper? Like, what was the...
She walks out and Victoria says, yeah, I thought you needed an excuse. So I guess
plausible deniability.
She gave her this costume to make it look like she has another job.
So she's going to take a big payout to skip one night of playing Mary at the local soup kitchen. True sentence. And she decides that what she needs.
Victoria decides this.
So Victoria made her dress up as Santa's helper
because she walks out.
Give her like a hot dog suit.
I don't know.
Like, why does it have to be like?
Because it's California Christmas, Dan.
Maybe she's doing a gig where, I don't know, the costume is sitting there waiting for her and she doesn't have to put it on now.
Yeah, she has to walk to her next gig in the costume.
Yeah.
That doesn't make, like, he already believed her. He believed she wasn't going to be there. She doesn't even go get dressed up to prove it.
What's great is she walks out and he's like, well, I guess I need to find someone else. She walks in the costume, and the only reason she walked in was because she forgot her phone. If she didn't forget her phone, he would have never seen her in that Santa suit.
There's nothing that because I'm like, oh, she really did take another gig for the night.
No.
She walks outside and grabs the cash, and it's like, all right, well, that was
She's a method actress. She really needs to, like,
that's right.
Live the lie.
Yeah. She was, in her head, she had another gig.
No, Victoria's like, first thing you need to do is you need to walk out. Forget your phone. Don't forget to forget your phone. It's going to come back later. Then go put on the suit, walk back in, sell it, baby. Victoria maybe is a budding director. We did, everybody. Congratulations. Oh, my gosh. How much fun was this on a scale of 1 to 10, everybody?
11. Oh, I thought we were all saying it together.
This conversation was an 11, but yeah, the movie was a -4.
That's right. So we we're somewhere in there.
Yes. Next week, we're going to be back on Monday again, watching another what might be a raunchy film called Holiday from 2020. Holiday on the Flicks,
deck the
Netflix, whatever it's called. Yeah. So
I'm excited because I heard this was really funny, and I've not seen it yet. So
that's a full year, boy, I believe. Like, they go through all the different seasons. Yes.
Oh,
so we do get some Christmas. We do get other ones, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're back tomorrow with another Christmas movie. Deck the Hallmark. Until then, maybe we're the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.